From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, I'm Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Wednesday, January 19th. We'll begin today in the mid-upper 30s before temperatures drop off all throughout the day. There is a chance for areas up to I-70 to see some late afternoon flurries. The state of New York is taking action against former President Donald Trump, two of his children, and other members of the Trump Organization. Attorney General Letitia James says her office uncovered evidence that the company routinely misrepresented the value of its properties and golf clubs in financial statements in order to get loans and tax benefits. The findings were detailed in a court motion seeking to get Trump, his daughter Ivanka, and his son Donald Trump Jr. to comply with subpoenas for testimony. Trump and his lawyers say the investigation is politically motivated. In a post overnight, James said the office would not be deterred by any roadblocks. She ended by saying no one is above the law. And breaking news this morning, several new subpoenas focus on members of Team Trump, including one of the president's sons. CNN reports the House committee investigating the insurrection now has phone records from Eric Trump and from Kimberly Guilfoyle. Guilfoyle is reportedly engaged to Donald Trump Jr. The panel got logs of calls and texts, but not the actual calls or messages. The panel also issued subpoenas to campaign advisor Boris Epshteyn and to Rudy Giuliani, Jenna Ellis, Sidney Powell, who served on Trump's legal team during the effort to overturn the election. And two women are injured in a shooting that placed an apartment building on lockdown overnight in Indianapolis. It happened at the Wellington Village Apartments off 16th and Franklin, where IMPD says a man may have shot two sisters. Medics rushed one of the women to the hospital for surgery around 9 last night. She told police the shooter is the father of her children. The other woman walked into the hospital on her own. Police locked down the building because they thought the man may still be inside.
We've had everybody shelter in place. It's a fairly large building. Like I said, anybody that absolutely has to leave for work or whatever, we'll actually take them out under guard to make sure they don't get hurt. But we've asked people to just shelter in place at this point.
IMPD has yet not said if officers have arrested anyone. And you can order up to 4 free COVID-19 tests for your household right now. It's all online through the U.S. government. Takes about a minute. Very easy. All you have to do is go online. You're going to see a button. You can register for it. It's through the government website. I'll have more on where you can find that in a little bit. But fill out your mailing address and you're basically finished. It'll ship about 7 to 8 days later, so later this month. Now, 2 local doctors gave some advice about how to use the tests effectively once you receive them. Though each test is FDA approved, it's unclear what brand of rapid tests households will be receiving. It's recommended that you carefully read the instructions first. You can also go on to the FDA's website where there's a list of manufacturers to find test instructions. Doctors advise to take a test while you're having symptoms for the most accurate results. If you're having mild symptoms or none at all, it's suggested to wait a few days to use a test.
Around day 5 or so is a good day, even if you don't have symptoms, to go ahead and test yourself. At that point, you should have become positive if you're going to, and that should be an accurate time to test.
It's nice if you have a nice wipe down, clean area so you don't get it contaminated with anything else or your own secretions. And you often need a timer. So have a timer or your phone or something ready because many of the steps are time critical.
Doctors highly recommend that if you have any doubts about your results, you go to a testing site and go ahead and sign up to receive these free tests right now. You'll have them when you need them, though. And we here at Wish TV have made it easy for you to get your tests. Go to wishtv.com. In the As Seen On section there on the homepage, you'll find an article. Inside that article, there's a link. You can click on it, and you'll easily figure out how to sign up for those tests. The Biden administration is also revealing details of the plan to hand out $400 million N95 masks. The White House says the masks will come from the country's strategic national stockpile. Officials say you'll be able to get them through pharmacies and local health centers. The plan aims to curb the current surge in cases. The CDC recently changed its guidance to recommend high-filtration masks like the N95. And this morning, a bill to sharply limit vaccine mandates is headed to the state Senate. The House passed the measure Tuesday. It would require employers to give exemptions for medical or religious reasons or immunity from a past infection. Companies would also have to offer weekly COVID testing as an alternative at their expense. Discussion on the bill got a little heated on the House floor yesterday.
The other day, one major press organization, described us as, quote, dead last, end quote. You're satisfied with that?
I'm not satisfied with that. I'm vaccinated. I would encourage you to get vaccinated. But this isn't about the effectiveness of the vaccine or the ineffectiveness of the vaccine. This is about the right of the individual in their employee, as an employee, what their rights are.
The bill faces an uncertain path in the state Senate as several leading Republicans have signaled resistance, saying the government should not tell owners how to run their businesses. And today, the Hamilton County Health Department is opening a free mobile testing and vaccine clinic in Carmel. It'll be at West Park at 116th and Town. The clinic is open through Saturday from noon to 8 each day. Organizers warn there is a limited supply of tests, but they're working around the clock to process more. Also today, President Biden is set to take questions from reporters in a news conference marking his first year in office. You can expect him to tout the economy. A new tweet from the White House charts out changes from jobs numbers of a year ago, notably an unemployment rate that's 2.5% lower. The president will also likely face some tough questions about his role as commander-in-chief, including the heavily criticized Afghanistan pullout and his handling of tensions with Russia. He's also facing infighting among Democrats over voting reform and Biden's Build Back Better agenda. Biden is scheduled to speak at 4 this afternoon. We will bring you his comments live on Wish TV. If you're still at work or on the go, we'll also live stream the press conference on wishtv.com and on our Facebook page. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says if Republicans do not end the filibuster going on right now, he'll propose changes to the filibuster rules by this evening. Right now, there's just a hold on the Senate floor to maintain the filibuster. It would take 60 votes to end it, support that is not there. Schumer wants those opposed to the bill to be required to stand and physically debate like they did years ago for the filibuster to sustain. And once that debate breaks, Schumer says that ends the filibuster and would allow for the two voting rights bills be brought forward, then voted on, requiring only a simple majority to pass.
On something as important as voting rights, if Senate Republicans are going to oppose it, they should not be allowed to sit in their office. They got to come down on the floor and defend their opposition to voting rights, the wellspring of our democracy.
The rule change is unlikely to happen as Democrats need all 50 of their senators on board. Senators Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema oppose the change. Manchin believes the move would be unprecedented.
I just don't know how you break a rule to make a rule and thinking you're doing something that's going to. We've never done this. We have never done. I've been looking for every precedent I can, every carve out. There's no checks and balances in this process. The only thing we have is a filibuster.
The Senate returns to work at 10 this morning. And Secretary of State Antony Blinken arrives in Ukraine today ahead of several meetings in hopes of diffusing tension with Russia. Blinken will meet with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and the country's foreign minister. Then on Friday, Blinken will meet with his Russian counterpart in Geneva. This will be the first high-level meeting between the U.S. and Russia since last week, when it ended without clear breakthroughs. Moscow wants Ukraine banned from NATO, along with a few other key demands. The United States is encouraging de-escalation methods instead of Russia sending tens of thousands of troops into Ukraine. An NYPD officer recounts the moment he pulled a woman from a burning house. Police say it started with an explosion yesterday in the Bronx. There was a huge emergency response, dozens of firefighters and other rescue teams. Police say a 77-year-old woman died from smoke inhalation. Officers say some of its team and other civilians in the area also suffered from some smoke inhalation, but they say one by one they were able to get everyone else out safely.
We, the team, we end up grabbing the lady out and then putting her out to the safe. 1, 2, let's go.
She was in so much pain she doesn't recall what actually happened. But I just stood with her to try to keep her comfort.
Officials say the cause of the fire is under investigation. And this morning, several international airlines are scrambling to cancel flights over today's rollout of new 5G technology. It's the latest and most dramatic move sparked by the airline industry's concern over interference with technology on board planes. The cancellations are impacting airports in Boston, Chicago, Dallas-Fort Worth, Newark, and San Francisco. The White House says it's working to prevent issues.
Certainly, minimizing flight disruptions, ensuring safety in travel is a top priority.
AT&T and Verizon say they'll delay turning on 5G cell towers within a 2-mile radius of runways at some major airports. The companies maintain that their equipment will not interfere with aircraft electronics and that the technology is safely used in 40 other countries. The U-Indy men's basketball team is offering a life-changing thank you. The team pulled off a surprise that left the players, managers jumping and hugging. News 8's Charlie Clifford went to campus to find out what led to this moment.
U-Indy basketball is jumping again. Second-year head coach Paul Casaro has the Greyhounds 10-3. Winners of 6 in a row.
Good, get out, Aaron. That's it, yes!
And a program on the rise doesn't take shortcuts, even with the grunt work behind the scenes. The life of a Division II basketball manager, not made for Instagram.
Well, first, you'll probably get here about an hour before practice. You'll either you start by sweeping or pulling stuff out for practice, getting all set up.
Colin will usually run the clock while I go out and I'll rebound. I'll be on pads. I'll be with towels ready to wipe the floor if I need to.
This past week, these 3 dedicated managers did make a splash on social media.
As you guys know, Colin and Ron are student managers.
A post-practice chat with creatively raised scholarship money heading to the least expecting recipients.
Welcome officially to the program because you guys are on scholarships.
Being brought in to be the videographer for this team, shock a little bit, just really unexpected.
I've never seen much like this ever before, and for it to happen was just incredible.
All of a sudden, next thing I know, I got the guys around me jumping and celebrating with us. And it was an unbelievable moment. It's a moment I'll never forget.
A season-changing thank you to college basketball's most thankless position.
I think it says a lot about our team. We have guys with big hearts, and it's about more than just basketball to them, and that they value people, and to make a difference in somebody else's life, there's nothing better than that.
Family on 3. Charlie Clifford, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
Pretty cool stuff. And finally, I encourage you to go to wishtv.com right now and find IT Mate's Richard Essex's story on issues with Indigo buses. He follows a colleague of ours here at the station who must navigate public transport from a wheelchair on a daily basis and has been running into issues. Within the story, there's a call out for you to let us know if you've been having any problems with Indigo, specifically as it would apply to the American with Disabilities Act. It truly is eye-opening, and in my opinion, why investigative journalists like Richard are essential. It's 5 minutes long, worth every single minute. You can find it in the As Seen on Wish TV section of our homepage. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.